Lindstrom, I'm just going to start talking. I'm Lindstrom. I'm still the new dean at UC School of Education. I started 7 months ago yesterday, so I'm new to California. When I was asked to serve on this panel, I said, do you really want me to serve on this panel, knowing how complicated California systems are and learning about K-12 and higher education? But what I want to speak from is my 25 years of experience in Oregon. So I spent 25 years at the University of Oregon as a faculty member, a researcher, the director of a research unit that focused on special education and transition. And I did a lot of work during those years with school districts, trying to figure out how do we help kids who are identified in special education prepare for adulthood. And for me, that's the real purpose of special education, is what happens at the end. Are kids productive? Are they satisfied? Are they working? Are they going to post-secondary education? So that's what I've been thinking about for 25 years. And I'll talk to you for about 5 minutes about that. So, we've already talked about IDEA, and in 2004, actually in 1990 was the first time we heard about transition services as part of special education. Reauthorized in 2004, where we now, every child who has an IEP beginning at the age of 16 needs to have a transition plan. So we have these mechanisms to think about who are these young people, what are they good at. These plans are supposed to be based on their strengths and their preferences, and we're supposed to create these services, right, and improve post-school outcomes. We already know from some of our other presenters that we still have gaps. So students with disabilities are not graduating from high school at the rate of their non-disabled peers. What I think about is this piece over here about employment. And so, again, we've seen a lot of improvements. When I think about going back to 1990, more and more kids being integrated, more and more kids have opportunities to work, but we have these incredible gaps. So on the left there is your high school graduation rate, the light blue being your general population compared to all students with disabilities in the pink, and then more significant cognitive disabilities in the purple. That's high school graduation, but look at employment. So you see that huge gap of 75%. Of kids without disabilities having opportunities to work, and that's between the ages of 22 and 30 compared to those with disabilities. So employment is an issue. Access to post-secondary education is another place where we have gaps. About probably 8 to 10 years ago, I really started to see a focus in the field on how do we transition kids to post-secondary education who have learning disabilities and other disabilities. And again, lots of progress, but we still see differential outcomes. So this particular graph is from a national longitudinal transition study, about 11,000 kids with disabilities around the country. And what you see there is just in terms of entrance to post-secondary education, the blue being the general population, the far left being community colleges. So kids with disabilities much more likely to go to community colleges, much more likely to be in technical schools, and much less likely to go on to four-year institutions. Not that one is better than another, but those are all opportunities, and what I'd like to see is equal access to all different kinds of post-secondary education. So, we know there's gaps between kids with disabilities and kids without disabilities, but we also know something about what works. There has been a lot of research since 1990 to think about what can make a difference in terms of adulthood for children identified for special education. These particular data come from a meta-analysis. So we're talking about 16,000 students, 37 different studies that looked at predictors of post-school success, which was defined by either employment or enrollment in post-secondary education. So what you see in front of you are 5 ways, I think, to rethink special education. These are things that we know work. Okay, so kids are enrolled in a transition program, so they have a set of services that are geared around an adult outcome. That works. They're more likely to be employed or go to college if they have that transition program. If they learn about careers early on during high school and get to explore a variety of careers, that makes a difference. If they're included in general education, we talked about that already throughout the panel, that actually increases your ability to get a job and go to college if you're included in general education. We also know access to career technical education makes a difference, and we know that paid work makes a difference. So if kids with disabilities can have access to this type of services while they're still in high school, we can see changes in special education, and we can see changes in adult outcomes. I'll end with this, which is as I think about these type of changes, and I think about infusing the special education system with these kind of innovative, creative, community-based, engaged strategies, we need the teachers to do it. And that's part of my new job as the Dean of the School of Education, is to think about how we prepare all teachers to think about diversity, and including in diversity, disability. So I think we need to have integrated programs. I think we need to move away from categorical. You know, you're trained to work with a kid with autism only. And I also think we need to think about this as over the long haul. It's not enough to get a certificate, and it's not enough to have, you know, once in a while we have a professional development on working with all kids. We need to have ongoing systems of coaching and supports for kids with disabilities and their teachers. And by that, I mean all teachers in all schools. So that was 5 minutes on transition. And